Nobody could have foreseen the next course of events. The room became dead as Musiq Soulchild, the neo-soul legend, entered the stage holding mic and muttering, "This one's for the ones who feel everything too deeply," before he began to sing. But it wasn't just any song when it was initially published. Millions of people were shocked by Kendrick Lamar's most devastating line. With a sad voice, eerie synths, and unadulterated soul, it has been recreated. Even the celebrities in the audience were clearly shocked when the band stopped playing. Some stood, while others sat in wonder. A viewer said, "I never thought I'd bride." Hear Kendrick like this. He didn't just sing this music. He felt it for all of us. The final note that sent shockwaves through social media because that final word wasn't Kendrick's, but rather a message. A warning and a truth we weren't prepared to hear was written by someone else. "I'm shaking," they said. This wasn't a cover. It was a breakdown, a confession, and a prayer. What did Musiq say that caused everyone in the room to gasp? You must hear this even though you're not ready. Let's get started. Soulchild, a guy of melody, heartache, healing, and unadulterated emotional depth, has been a silent presence in R&B for many years. His voice has always been silky, broken in the proper places, and steeped with life's sadness. He is never sought virality and speaks for those who are unable to express their suffering. Fans anticipated nostalgia hits and possibly some surprises when he recently revealed that he would be doing a one-night show in Los Angeles. However, nobody saw this coming, because the atmosphere changed as he walked onto the stage and muttered that he would be doing a tribute. No one could have predicted what it would feel like to be a poet, a protester, and truth in action. But Kendrick Lamar is more than just a rapper. Let's take a week's break. There were rumors that Musiq had been seen at an Englewood studio with an analog engineer and a jazz group. Insiders said he was taping something incredibly personal, emotional, and potentially controversial, but no one knew why. Some of the verses weren't just verses though. They were letters. And some of us shared the same address, according to an enigmatic post on Musiq's Instagram. It was thought to be about love trauma by fans. Kendrick's passing. Then the flyer, with the white writing, black square, and no images. From the first note, Musiq did more than just sing Kendrick's words. He breathed them, slowed them down, and transformed verses into sobs, hooks into whispers, and punchlines into anguish. One blogger described this as a funeral for everything we bury in order to continue. He started off with a bare-bones rendition of You, but it was more than just the song, it was the way he sang it. The audience thought he was talking to someone who genuinely loved them when he sang to an empty chair. It was a moment of culture. Everything changed when the second song started playing. The child spirit, lighted by a single spotlight, stood still as the room fell silent, almost like sacred music. He then abruptly began singing the opening bars of Kendrick's Mother, I Sober, but instead of merely covering it, he changed it. His voice was brittle and tremulous, but powerful, and there was only a quiet piano with weak strings, no beat or percussion. "I wish I was somebody, anybody," he said as he got to the cue, but his voice broke in an unprepared way, causing some in the front row to gasp and others to wipe away their tears. This was now a confession rather than a cover. One of the women shouted, "We sense your music." However, what followed truly took everyone by surprise. This stanza was delivered into the microphone when he paused, looked down, and took a deep breath. This isn't just Kendrick's story. Some of us experienced it as well, and we never told anyone. When they discovered that Kendrick wasn't merely using music to interpret him, but also to expose his own reality, the people in the Velvet Room gasped. "I know the secrets every other man in the room doesn't tell," he sang, and the audience froze, staring at each other in amazement and bewilderment. Was Musiq making a confession? Was this a confession? A man shouted from the rear, A short video montage began to play behind the music as the lights went down and the stage crew took over for the following act. It included unreleased video of Musiq himself, including a private clip of him chatting to the camera in a studio, in addition to other old Kendrick interview segments. For too long, I suppressed my anguish while I watched people around me weep. Now, though it's time for everyone to gasp at once, is this authentic? The music went on when someone else muttered that he was crying at the moment. As the evening wore on, the tension only grew, and just hours after the concert, just when everyone thought it could be much more heated, Kendrick himself reacted. Although Kendrick's rendition of Pain Unplugged by Musiq Soulchild was popular, nobody was ready for what was going to happen at 3:42 a.m. Something more significant is taking place. Kendrick simply validated Musiq. Are they both survivors of an unknown event? No. This simply became a movement in a matter of minutes. Erykah Badu, who shared the performance and said, "That wasn't a cover, that was church. That was healing," was one of the celebrities who started to comment. Salute. One spooky tweet from the account said, "Truth is layered. Pain and don't always rhyme. He told the truth. 14 words. Music must always be protected." Janelle Monáe tweeted, "That man. Let us into his soul tonight. Even though I've seen a lot of performances, I've never witnessed a man so strongly relate to a Kendrick verse. What the devil did we just see?" And then something even more ridiculous was erased and found online. On Instagram Live, Questlove posted a reaction video. His label silenced him when he attempted to describe what he was going through, stating, "No one wants to hear a man sing about this kind of pain." A screenshot and caption are included for this 2010 tweet from a former label executive. Tonight, he proved them wrong. And the second twist was that the media allegedly leaked a private note, allegedly from the music manager. It stated the venue didn't approve of that track. So Musiq added it to the setlist last minute, meaning he didn't even practice it before we discovered it with the audience. Additionally, we're still processing the fact that he didn't even practice it and that no one expected him to perform it, which clarified we were not informed of Musiq Soulchild's alteration to the setlist, the venue said in a statement. Although we value artistic independence, we were unprepared for the consequences of safety and emotional intensity. After the show, audience support staff were dispatched to help anyone who was affected emotionally. Several attendees attested to the fact that they were implying that supporters were so emotionally impacted that medical assistance was required. What he was attempting to express, what he went through, and whether it went beyond music were all encapsulated in this tweet. Musiq's Soulchild vanished, as if the situation couldn't get much more dramatic. His team posted, "Please give Musiq the space he needs right now," while his Instagram went black and his Twitter was quiet. "I appreciate your affection." A man behind me was hyperventilating, and I was crying uncontrollably. To be honest, it felt too spiritual. After 20 years of keeping this narrative a secret, fans were giddy. Whispers became rumors. And one fan leaked a direct message, allegedly from a close friend of the artist. His remarks tonight are only the start of the end. Widely shared tweet. While some supporters believed he was simply regrouping, others feared the worst. But the silence just served to heighten the scene. What has been the message of Musiq over the last 2 decades? Talk shows, podcasts, music blogs, and even Naper rushed to explain what had happened. And in a single day, the entire industry was in flames. Among the headlines was Musiq Soulchild's most unguarded Kendrick cover ever, which was more of a confession than a performance. For what reason did Musiq jeopardize his entire reputation? People were surprised and shaky as fan recordings of the moment went viral. I felt seen, and I sobbed over Musiq for the first time. It was a breakdown, or maybe a breakthrough, not a show. Pure speculation about Musiq Soulchild's performance of Kendrick's lyrics exploded in Twitter forums. These hypotheses told a different tale. Was this his secret all along, which would account for his disappearance from the spotlight in the 2010s? Or was this his cry for assistance? Then came the divergent viewpoints. He needed treatment, a microphone that wasn't trauma dumping, and he wasn't performing, and it felt exploitative NGL, according to other fans, who also thought it was too much. They were sharply retorted by others, who said, "No, you just aren't." Used to men expressing real pain. He gave us his soul, and you guys are out here policing it. So let's not silence black males when they do open up. After that, more painters dove into the snow. Algra stated, "I've been listening to that clip all day, and I'm still crying. Brother Musiq, what you did last night was beautiful, necessary, and revolutionary," Common wrote on Twitter. "Sometimes I sing about stuff that hurts too much to talk about. If you listen close, you'll know me better than anyone ever has." Kendrick's team even nodded subtly, changing their bio to simply the word resonance, preparing for the next viral moment. Theirs broke down on Instagram Live once more. Bro N stated everything that males are not permitted to say. "I've been analyzing music by Soulchild's entire discography for 5 years. Everything he's ever written was building up to this," one contributor commented. At this point, people began exploring Reddit music breakdowns on YouTube and TikTok timelines that linked earlier lyrics to this particular moment. The performance rating for the video was 2. In just 12 hours, 7 million views marked the beginning of a movement. Users of Let Men Sing started utilizing the performance of the music as a trigger to share their own personal tales of heartbreaks, losses, and poems. Major streaming platforms modified their front pages as a result of the pressure this put on the industry. They changed the popular Musiq Soulchild playlist to Pain Unplugged, Black Male Emotion, Healing Through Harmony. Both the NAACP and BET issued statements praising the occasion for stretching the limits of black music's emotional storytelling. Not everyone was rejoicing, though, as an internal memo from Musiq's previous label that was leaked blasted the performance, calling it emotionally unstable and off-brand. Everything changed again, just as the artists, fans, and even critics were finally able to catch their breath after the internet believed it had processed every emotion from the performance. A fresh video that was leaked vertically from backstage revealed a Musiq Soul kid slumped in a folding chair with his hands shaking and his hood down. His voice, which was hardly audible above a whisper, revealed, "I didn't even plan to perform that song tonight. I was supposed to sing something safe." His body language wasn't the only thing that chilled the internet. He stated, "I didn't even plan to perform that song brand." The camera pans slightly to reveal 2 men in suits, both silent and with their arms crossed, saying, "They told me not to talk." After glancing up into the lens, Musiq replies, "But I'm not doing this for them anymore. I did it for my younger self, the one who cried alone in the studio," and referred to it as practice. Fans swarmed Twitter after the internet went down once more, asking, "Wait, who told him not to perform?" He became erratic. "There is a cover-up here. This was not a part of the incident." What is B? A phony insider blog stated that he was cautioned not to sing Kendrick and not to stray from the script because they were worried it would reignite past scars. And that pressure and emotional sabotage started to swirl. But in 2015, it unexpectedly became popular on Twitter, and fans began dissecting every song and interview from that year. "I wanted to release a song in 2015, but they shut it down and said it would ruin the brand because it was too honest and raw," was one quote from an old radio show about music. Then, a fresh hunt started, with fans demanding the unreleased material, petitions being made to labels, and TikTok creators begging Musiq to leak it himself. However, this is when things really got crazy. I still have the master on a hard drive. Someplace. The statement in the tweet read, "This was a transfer of pain, not just a cover." After then, there was quiet, no denial, and nothing until Musiq shared a photo of a solitary cassette tape with a black marker label on Instagram in 2015. Do it. The caption read, "The time has come. We're prepared." Again, break the stillness. The world is waiting now. Will the lost track be leaked by Soulchild? Will the business try to stop him once more? Is this the end of the world or the start of a new era? He created one man, one cover. And now a revolution could be imminent because of music he's not done singing yet. Sometimes all it takes is one prohibited verse to alter the sound of a whole generation. Was there anything you were feeling? During the performance, you're not alone if it made you feel visible, prevented you from scrolling, or caused you to cry for inexplicable reasons. This is more than just music. It's about honesty, bravery, and dismantling all the rules that forced. Musicians, too, remain silent. We therefore ask that you do the following. Immediately make a comment. Does Musiq need to make the 2015 tape available? We want to hear your thoughts, feelings, and anecdotes, and we're reading every single remark. Tag a friend who ought to hear that cover, particularly the one who continues to think that music has the power to cure. Click like if this performance touched you. You will miss what comes next if you haven't subscribed yet, because, based on speculations, there will be more music released soon than just the tape. There is more opposition. This is but the precursor. The next note he sings could end the lingering stillness, so pay attention. Remember that tape no matter what you do, and don't blink or scroll past this. Comment and subscribe. Everything will change because of this voice.